All right, so this is the second video responding to the leaders of First Fruits of Zion in their own words at their own conference in 2022, a session delivered towards their most ardent supporters and Torah Club leaders. It's a short clip. We're going to take a look at what Daniel Lancaster has to say and then respond to it.
His message had nothing to do with consenting to a creed. He didn't introduce a new religion. Instead.
All right, so there was some issue with the editing of that. That was the best I could do at the time. So the second sentence I have here, and his message had nothing to do with consenting to a creed. He didn't introduce a new religion. Instead, he called for repentance within the religion that he was already in. Of course, we're talking about Jesus. This is Daniel Lancaster, the chief author of Torah Club materials, right? Very important person in this organization, one of the chief voices, saying that the message of Jesus had nothing to do with consenting to a creed. Now, again, an awful lot depends on where you're going with all this, right? Obviously, everybody would pretty much agree that the heart of the message of Jesus is about how you live your life as a follower. The things you say and do, right? The choices you make. Consenting to a creed is not the end all and be all, but it matters. It's got to be a part of the conversation that we have to believe something to be a follower of Jesus, don't we? There has to be a core of belief. Now, again, when I put this seminar together in the fall of 2023, I had not yet had access to the audio, the Only Begotten Son audio messages where Daniel Lancaster is deeply non-Trinitarian, right? Where he comes out as a modalist, the idea that God, that the Son and the Spirit and the Father are just avatars of Yahweh, that they're not really a person at all. So no doubt, Daniel Lancaster bristles at the constriction of the Nicene Creed because he denies it, because he is teaching that we don't need that core of belief. And that's a very frightening thought. And of course opens the door to a wide variety of heresy, especially about the person and work of Jesus, if we don't have to adhere to that. So that's the first part of this. Of course, the second part, he didn't introduce a new religion. He was calling for repentance within the religion that he was already in. And of course, this is the heart and soul of the message of First Fruits of Zion, is that Judaism, as constituted under the law of Moses at Sinai, is eternal, perfect, unchanging. And so therefore, Jesus changed nothing, could not, would not, never did change anything. That's their message. That's what they're trying to convince people to believe. And of course, therefore, they need to tear down, they need to destroy Christianity. You cannot be a follower of Christianity, right? A part of the church, and fit within their belief structure. And I have had this, allergy season, had these comments online. I've had these comments from people here locally and when they used my title, right, The Dangers of the First Fruits of Zion, for one of their podcasts, First Fruits of Zion laughed at the idea. Their leaders, Boaz and others, were laughing at the idea that they would be a danger to the church, that they would harm the church in any way. This is what they say, though, when they're talking to their supporters. And subsequent videos in this brief series are going to show that they have deep animosity toward the church because they don't think it should exist. They don't think it was ever supposed to exist. The only thing Jesus wanted to do was call people back to Torah observance, which is also why they replaced the fruit of the Spirit with Torah observance as the true mark of discipleship in their twisted heretical ideology. All right, so again, in his own words, He says it. He believes it. It is built into, and I've demonstrated so many times, it's built into their publications, their Torah Club materials, their books. It's everywhere in what they have to say. All right, I'm going to keep going with these. There's several more in their own words, right? If you don't trust me, if you don't think that I'm telling you the straight scoop, this is what their leaders are saying. This is what they believe. This is what gets cheering and clapping amongst their followers. This is what they want. And of course, that's another reason that makes it so dangerous. Thank you.